Hey guys, this is Kirob speaking, and in today's little dev update we are going to take another look at what is going on in the development of the Lite Campaign V3. So we have implemented the latest game engine for 20.3 and now have gotten things back to working again. For the most part, we're still having a few little niggles, like some widgets just not showing up. They were lost in translation or something, but we're getting there. And today I can show you in this kind of dev build what is going on. This is on Steam as a closed beta branch, but it is the developer version of this. So, okay, what do we have here? Well, what is working now is that you actually can start in different countries. That was always defaulting to Gazmir before. And tech pool is working. So we could start with, let's say, some body tech, and that unlocks us a few bodies early. What will happen here is we decided to roll together the body and the fixtures, because they are too similar and they are two quality sliders right next to each other, more or less doing the same thing. And we thought, well, that's a little unnecessary. So we are going to roll those together, those two categories, and make the one that remains very useful indeed. And quite as much on the same power level as the chassis, for instance, and these others. They are very valuable, but no one ever invested into body or fixtures. But now that this one actually unlocks bodies earlier, and well, the chassis tech was always good because there's a lot of prestige and there's the chassis stiffness in it and all kinds of good stuff. So that has always been useful, but not so much this one. So anyway, we are going to start out in Frenia, and we are going to build the first the first like sports car manufacturer. Yeah, let's try that out. We are almost at the point where this is also working. It's not too much effort of now putting it in, like hooking things up. That you can start with a pre-made factory. You can choose the size here and whatnot. And, well, plot and factory. You can determine the plot size and the factory size. And you see the current country size in economy-wise up there. But the rest of the parameters, you will find that in many instances, also in here and there, everywhere, what I'm going to show you now, most of the things are not hooked up to the UI yet. But most of the core underlying gameplay mechanics are now working, which is good stuff. And working in the latest version of the Unreal Engine, which hopefully gets rid of the garbage collection bug. So yes, let's start here. We still have the weird Ahana outlier of economic strength. We still don't know what's going on there, but haven't looked into it either. So, as you can see, more and more buttons are kind of unlocking. Not many are working as intended yet, but yeah, slowly but surely. For instance, we now have this one. I talked about it last time, and that was the dealership networks. Not implemented yet, but the UI is ready to go, more or less. And this is the marketing. So two things that were that didn't make their way into the Lite Campaign V2 that are going to be added to the Lite Campaign V3, both marketing and dealership networks. A very simple way of implementing dealership networks. We have talked about it in the last episode. If you have missed that one, please check it out. Let's have a quick look at the existing markets. I'm going to sell to these three countries. Let's see. Ew. There's a lot of shrinkage going on right there. That's an economic downturn. But you see the current size, the sum of the sizes for these demographics, and then their year-over-year change in size. So that is what we are looking at. If we want to go for sports cars, well, there's not that much there, is there? Okay, can't go too big then. And we have an average awareness of just 16.7% right now. That will also be determined mainly by your dealership network, because the dealership networks give you a minimum amount of awareness in a region. If you have 0, you just can't sell anything there, and your awareness is 0, which means like no one knows about you, and you can't. You have an actual maximum sales per month of 0, so not going to sell anything. But as soon as you invest into a bit of dealership networks, which is a one-time cost, keep it simple, then you can start selling cars into the region. So, and that's all good. Let's start making a car. So all this is still not really as it's supposed to be. This is not explained at all, and that's a consistent theme throughout all the UI you're seeing here. So that of course will change, but let's create a new project. We are going to select these 3 regions to sell to. You can select as many as you like currently. At the moment, the country locking, like it was the case in the Lite Campaign V2, is not implemented yet. So depending on your starting region, you will have access to different countries. They will unlock at different times, but right now you could just sell to everyone. The process of building a car, you have probably seen yourself, or rather used yourself when this tool was available, and not much has changed here. So let me just design a sports car and get it back to you then. I'll do 2 trims or something. We're going for a mid-longitudinal double wishbone setup, space frame. And because we are building it in a shed, or rather also engineering it in a shed, for being produced in a shed, the engineering time won't be too horrendous, but our production numbers will be low. As you can see, we do have a bit of tech pool here now, which is by default selected. The quality is set at 0, which gives us like a 3-year advantage overall over the competition. And that of course is only the case if the competition doesn't have tech pool itself. Of course you can add tech pool, or rather quality, to it, and that would net you an effective quality of +7 on this one. That is a pretty high revving engine for back in the day, 5,300 RPM, no troubles whatsoever, could rev to 6.4. Let's continue on. And these are the 2 sliders I was talking about before, so they will be rolled into one, body and fixture quality. This also frees up a bit of space, and well, they are, I think, are they already considered the same slider in the game? I don't know, but that will certainly change. Engine doesn't fit. I don't believe you. No, actually the engine did not quite fit in, so now we have instead made a little V8. 2.1 liters. Sounds good. And with a bit of tuning, that does look fantastic. As you can see, the tooltips here are not quite working yet. Oh my god. Well, thanks for the information, bro. That was much needed. 0% everywhere. That's good to know. Anyway, so this one looks like it's scoring pretty well. One weird thing, for instance, just with to show you how ridiculous this can be for game developers. So we changed the engine, the game engine, that is, and then all of a sudden the brake bias slider is missing. It's like, what? Why? So we have to find that somewhere. It was here, I swear. And of course, in the side panel, these demographics, the 4 demographics choices here are missing too, for no good reason. But those are all things that are of course coming back, so when you see stuff that seems odd, just assume, yes, it's broken currently and it will be fixed. So now we have our base sport version of the car, and now I want to make the like super luxury version. I'm just going to clone this one, and it's using the same engine. I could also make another variant of that engine. So let's actually try that out. So I'm going to delete it from the engine slot, and then I'm going to create a new variant in existing engine project, which would be this one. And I'm going to choose to clone this one, our existing engine. So now I'm working on a clone of that engine. And I just gave it a little bit more power. It's all good for our heavier handmade version. Now we have 2 different engines in here, and I can make this one the luxury version. Oh, that's some really beautiful steering behavior, Killer Rob. That's exactly what our customers want. That's rather impressive though. 7.9 seconds from 0 to 100 in 1946. Yeah, pretty good. So there's one more I want to do, and that is a convertible version. So let's clone the Sport and call it the convertible, and then we switch over the body. Well, the convertible, of course, is quite a bit heavier than the others, and that changes behavior, so let's switch that up. Give them... Do I want to give it wider tires? Yeah, I mean, why not? What a difference. Wow. That is a lot better cornering all of a sudden. And we are scoring really well in the convertible sports category now. Alright, this is our first facelift, in big air quotes. Facelift, it's the original facelift, and I can call it that. And now we can just advance to the production and factory management. Let's see what has happened here. So we choose new. The world map is blinking. And we select a region where we want to build it. We are a company that is located in Frenia. Let's choose a medium plot so that we have some room to expand. We have 700 million in cash reserves right now. So as you can see here, the plot prices are dependent on how well the region is doing. In Achana, you could buy a huge plot for 151 million. And in Gazmir, you don't even get a large plot for that. Now, what kind of factory do we want to put on that medium plot? I think it is wise to go with a small 2. I deliberately made the choices such that I don't need any kind of specific processes. It's all handmade. And here we have our priority system. So let's put the convertible and the sport on the same priority, but on level 2, and the luxury sport on level 1. So we will always prefer to build the luxury sport, because that's probably the one that is giving us a lot of dough. And then after that, the sport and the convertible to fill the rest. To make the factory a bit cheaper, we can always reduce the amount of automation we have. And then tooling quality, a little bit up. You can these stats are not filling in. Well, it just costs us 60 cents to actually build this tooling. Very good. And takes us 0.4 seconds, maybe? I don't know. This is still a little weird. But yeah, the sliders mostly, apart from these, are working as intended. So let's confirm this factory, and that puts us back to, as you can see here, it now has... Oh right, I should mention what's going on here. So this is a factory, this slot, and it has a current state and a future state. And the future state is now showing what we have planned for it. This factory has not been bought yet, and the plot hasn't been bought yet. It is first being bought, and the factory starts construction as soon as we hit the sign-off for the overall project. That means that if you decide against continuing with the project, you can always cancel it without having incurred the costs already, like it was the case in the Lite Campaign V3. So now some engineering. Oh my god, that takes a while. 46 months, but that is at a tooling level, an automation level of 70. We don't need to optimize our tooling that much. These are cars that are more or less hand-built. So we can reduce that to something more reasonable. And we see that, well, this makes it very hand-built. This incurs... You don't quite see that here yet, but this will incur a production unit penalty of 156%. So 150% extra production units, but that reduces our engineering time a lot, because it's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll do it by hand anyway, so don't worry about it. Just design the parts as you like. It will be fine. Now let's aim for 18 months or something. I don't know if everything in here is hooked up yet. Don't see the values changing really. Yeah, the reliability values change, but I think this one might still be ignored to some extent. Anyway, we can continue. Oh, wait a second. We can give them some more money. All right, so the car is done. Or the engineering for the car project is done, as you see here. It's all set up now. Now we continue down the line. This is the main timeline. We have the location selection, then building of trims, then we have the production. Could also add another factory to it, or several ones, even ones that currently already produce things and so on. This is all possible with this system. And now we have done the engineering and can get to this page, which shows all engine variants that are currently being used in this project. And you see this is being used by one model and by 2 trims. And here it's just 1. And now we have to go in here and sign that one off. Preliminary, it's not signed off, but rather we have to set up its factory first. Let's also build one in Fruinia on a medium plot. And small factory on top, a level 2, yeah, it's a V8, probably takes a few more production units. And here we see it, yeah, it's just straight up. Let's do the same thing here, more or less. The values are, again, not properly shown, and you can't really see how many engines you're going to be able to be making. That is something that is missing from this page for now. And of course, that will be in the version you're going to play. And now I just have to activate the sign-off button here. Boom! And via that, we get back to this page. That was the factory, yes. And now we have to set up the engineering. So you can see it's a bit of jumping around, which is not entirely clear, especially now that the UI isn't fleshed out yet, or not made beautiful yet. And so engineering here, so tooling. You always have to set up the factory first, and then you set up the engineering afterwards. So I want these to take the same time, more or less. Oh, no, let's do something here. Let's put it at 16. I want to show you something, a new feature that is also quite nice. Pressure, that's all fine, and none of these are working currently, but we can just click the ready to sign off button for the engines, and that should, yeah, okay, it's all good, they are ready to go, and now we can continue on to the sign off and the calculations, which currently aren't properly working. They haven't been fixed yet after the switch over of the engine, so something in here is broken, I guess. But anyway, I assume everything is fine, and now let's just sign them off. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. So we have a mass sign-off screen, which is a new feature in the Lite Campaign V3, and that one allows you to align your different projects to each other. So for now, it's really simple. You see your different cars here, and you see the 2 engines in here with text block. Yeah, it's not all done yet. So now you can choose to sign off projects together. And if you choose this one and this one, you see that this one will start 1 month later, so that it finishes at the same time. Because what need is there for having engines lying around when there's no car being built to use that engine, right? That's not what you want. So you will be able to sign off individual engine projects here. And if there is an engine that kind of delays you, for instance, or a trim that delays you, you can individually deselect it and make that a part of a facelift, so that your project can go ahead and finish like 6 months earlier, and then once it's done, you then create the facelift with that car you've already built, and it won't be in the way of your existing production. It just takes longer then. So that is probably, if we manage to make it real useful and straightforward enough for people to understand it, then that will be a very powerful tool. And so, yes, selected for sign off. We sign them off. We agree to that, and now we go back here, and you see, oh, they have a yellow background. Yellow means they are now in engineering. The Tiger Sport. So when we go back here now, we see that our car is now in the list. Tiger Sport, Luxury Sport, Convertible, but ugly, but still. And then you have the production line that is set to start 18 months down the line. Isn't it beautiful? So now let's see what happens. We can accelerate time. And we should see a spike of costs here. Yes. And then money reducing for the factory building and the engineering costs that are ongoing. And beautiful. It looks like we are producing. We're going to launch the car into an economic downturn. All right, and there we have it. Now it is actually being produced for the first time. And let's see, this is not my algorithm yet, which I did show you a few episodes ago of the Little Dev Update. I showed you in spreadsheet, but this is a simpler version that is just a test case. And let's see what happens. So red is our outgoing money, and let's reduce the timer a bit. And now, as you can see, there's a month tick once the month is full. Uh-oh. Oh, well, the margin is going up. Margin is going up. Oh, very good. Ah, now we are making, almost making profit. There, yes, nice. We are starting to make a profit. Yeah, okay. So what is happening here now? There's more feedback implemented as of now. So, well, R&D is going on. We have, which one was it? The markets. Let's take a look at the markets. Now we can see where we are actually selling these to. Where would that be? Monthly sales data, yes. So these 3 regions are selected, so they are combined. And we have sold one into track premium. Now that demographic shouldn't even exist right now, but we don't have implemented the demographics locking yet. And we have sold one into this demographic. That is equivalent to 74.46% of our allowed market share. So that's good enough, I would say. Oh, and we're actually starting to sell into an economic upturn, not a downturn. Yeah, okay, it flattened out there. That's nice. I don't even know if this data is being shown correctly, because this could be very well be something entirely unrelated right now. But yes, so if we just forward time a bit, then we see that we are slowly creeping up as our awareness increases, as we are reaching more and more people. And we're making a hefty profit on this. That's nice. 3 million a month. Almost 4 there. Yes, now up to 4. And we can continue to increase prices. Oh, now they've stagnated. And now it has resumed, and you can see that it's flattening out a little bit, yes. It's still going strong. And in the monthly sales data, we see that we are doing some real nice sales into the Light Sport Premium segment, convertible supercar segment, hypercars, even GT cars, GT Premium. And the demographic sizes show us that, yeah, indeed, there are not many people per month who are going to buy these. Like 37 there for supercars for all these 3 regions combined. And what you also see with weird colors, this is not the color scheme we intended to be. Our awareness has increased in the demographics that have bought these cars. So now that we have had these cars in production for a while, and it's already 1950, sales are still going pretty well, even though we had a bit of a dip there for the new year. Let's see if that continues. Yeah, it's going well. Okay, so it's March. Let's make a facelift. Blue background means in production currently. We do select whatever we have here, and then we just edit the project and can go back to the project management. I should actually drop you there. It's by itself. Oh, well, cars aren't doing too well, are they? Why is that so low? So now I can just add a facelift. It didn't save my name, did it? No, MK2. Okay. So, and this is now the next facelift. And as you can see, they are all still the same. That is because they are not chosen to be refreshed. So now what you could do is give them new engines, update the engine versions, maybe switch around some of the engines, or build a completely new engine model and like put it in here in one of the new trims of the new facelift. And you can add You can add trims as well into the facelift. You can just take them out, or choose that, well, this one is still... What? Nope. This one is still good enough. We don't have to refresh it. Can choose that too. Just deactivate here. And yeah, that is how it's working. Then you have to set up your factory again, maybe upgrade a bit, and go through engineering for the... You basically pay the difference in engineering time. And then we have the engine factory set up once again. And, oh, right, yeah, and the engineering of the engines. And then again, calculations and sign off, currently, which I can't show you. And then sign them all off, mass sign off screen. Let's do that. This is taking 5 months worth of engineering right now. Oh, minus 12. That's a little weird. Ah, I assume it's winging out because there's no engine to engineer. We still kept all the engines. And now the car, the new trims in the new facelift are in engineering, while the others are still being produced. And that is about as much as I can show you today. This is currently not working yet. They are somehow not producing yet. Probably a minor issue with the factory setup. They're not switching over to the new configuration on time or something. But that is how far we are, and as you can see, it is not ready to be played by you yet, and it will take quite a while longer. But as you can see, there is something not only something going on, but rather quite big steps towards an actually playable campaign. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this current overview of where we are at. Oh, yeah, there's the switchover. Maybe it has worked. Look at that. There's the new car. No, all the lower errors. Okay, and with that, a very, very typical of automation thing, I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.